Most people spend their lives chasing the opinions, validation, and expectations of others. But the moment you shift all that energy toward yourself, you change everything. You don't just grow, you evolve. You don't just improve, you shock the world. Most people live their lives trapped in an endless loop of seeking approval from others, their family, friends, co workers, even strangers on social media. They base their self-worth on the likes, the comments, the compliments, and the fleeting moments of validation that the world occasionally hands out. But here's the truth. Living for approval is a dangerous addiction. It conditions you to hand over control of your happiness, confidence, and identity to people who often don't even know your true potential, and sometimes don't even care about your growth. When you seek constant approval, you slowly lose sight of who you really are. You begin adjusting your actions, your beliefs, your goals, even your personality, just to fit the mold of what you think others will accept or admire. You start making choices not based on what's best for you, but on what you believe will impress others or avoid their judgment. And in doing so, you sacrifice your authenticity. You silence your instincts. You hold back your ambitions just to blend in or earn temporary applause. But here's the irony. No matter how hard you try, you will never please everyone. Some people will always have an opinion about your life, good or bad, and if you allow their opinions to dictate your direction, you'll spend your entire life drifting, never really moving forward, never truly becoming the person you were meant to be. Focusing on yourself means breaking free from this cycle. It means realizing that your value isn't assigned by another human being. You don't need permission to dream big. You don't need a round of applause to know you're on the right path. Your life is not a popularity contest. It's a personal mission. Approval is nice, but it's not necessary. The truth is, the people who achieve greatness, the ones who shock the world, are the ones who learn to clap for themselves even when no one else did. They don't wait for validation to start their journey. They build their path in silence. And somewhere along the way, the same people who once ignored or doubted them will be forced to notice. Discipline is one of the most underrated superpowers in the world. It's not flashy, it's not always exciting, and it certainly doesn't offer instant gratification, but it is the foundation of every form of lasting success. Discipline is what separates those who only dream from those who actually achieve. It is the quiet force that shows up when motivation runs dry, when distractions are screaming for your attention, and when every excuse in the world feels justified. Motivation can spark a beginning, but discipline builds an empire. It's easy to feel inspired for a day or two. It's easy to start something new when excitement is high and the journey feels fresh. But the real test begins when that excitement fades, when the process becomes boring or difficult, when the results are slow or invisible. That's where most people give up. But that's exactly where discipline takes over. When you develop true discipline, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop giving in to feelings of laziness, self-doubt, and procrastination. You wake up early, even when the bed feels more comfortable. You show up for your goals, even on the days you don't feel like it. You train your body, sharpen your mind, and invest in your growth, not because you feel inspired every day, but because you made a commitment to yourself, and you intend to keep it. Discipline rewires your mind to choose long-term reward over short-term comfort. While others are wasting time waiting for the perfect moment, the right mood, or someone else's permission, disciplined people are building momentum, step by step, brick by brick. They know that small, consistent actions compound into massive transformations. And it's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter, with intention, and with self-control. It's about saying no to distractions, temptations, and bad habits, even when they offer short-term pleasure. It's about sticking to the plan when everyone else is quitting. It's about pushing your limits a little further every single day, so your mind and body adapt to a higher standard. Discipline is what builds strength in silence. It's the inner voice that reminds you of your goals when nobody is watching. It's the invisible force that builds character, sharpens focus, and forges resilience. It's the one habit that guarantees progress, whether the world notices today or not. Self-improvement is the ultimate investment, the one thing that nobody can ever take away from you. It's the quiet, steady process of becoming better, stronger, smarter, and more resilient than you were the day before. The world is constantly changing, challenges are always evolving, and opportunities often come dressed as obstacles. The only way to stay ahead, to stay sharp, and to truly shock everyone with your growth is by making self-improvement a non-negotiable part of your life. Improving yourself doesn't happen by accident. It's a deliberate choice, repeated day after day. It's the decision to read when others waste time scrolling. It's the decision to train your body when others make excuses. It's the decision to develop new skills when others settle for comfort and routine. The more you invest in yourself, the more valuable you become to the world around you, and the less dependent you are on luck, circumstances, or handouts. Self-improvement demands that you confront your weaknesses rather than hide from them. It forces you to step into discomfort and face the areas of your life that need growth. Whether it's your mindset, your emotional control, your knowledge, your health, or your skill set, improvement is an endless journey. There's always another level. There's always room to sharpen your mind, master your emotions, improve your habits, and strengthen your physical and mental resilience. When you commit to improving yourself, you separate yourself from the crowd. Most people stop learning after school. They stop growing the moment life stops forcing them to. But those who choose self-education, self-mastery, and self-discipline create a life that others can't comprehend. You start to operate on a level where your old excuses no longer hold power, and your old limitations no longer apply. The beauty of self-improvement is that the changes often happen in silence. It starts internally. The mindset shift comes before the life shift. You don't always see the results immediately, but day by day, your confidence grows, your knowledge expands, your habits improve, and your future starts to reshape itself without permission from anyone else. And here's the simple truth. Nobody will ever care about your growth more than you will. Nobody will force you to improve once you become an adult. The responsibility is yours, and the reward is priceless. The more you improve, the more unstoppable you become. Life doesn't get easier, you just get stronger, smarter, and better prepared to handle whatever it throws at you. Distractions are everywhere. In today's world, the battle for your attention is constant and ruthless. Social media, notifications, endless entertainment, mindless scrolling, gossip, and even the opinions of others all compete to pull your focus away from what truly matters. The sad reality is, most people don't even realize they've surrendered their focus until it's too late. Their days slip away, their dreams stay buried, and their potential remains untapped, all because they never learned to silence the noise. If you want to do something extraordinary, if you want to shock everyone with the level of success you reach, you must become ruthless with your focus. You must learn to protect your mind like it's your most valuable possession, because it is. Your ability to lock in on your goals, to drown out distractions, and to channel your energy into meaningful actions will decide how far you go in life. The truth is, the world will always offer you a way out. There will always be an easier path, always another distraction, always another excuse to break your rhythm. But when you develop the skill of silencing distractions, you begin to build an unstoppable momentum. You no longer let the outside world dictate the pace of your progress. You take control. You choose what deserves your attention, and more importantly, you choose what doesn't. Focus is not something you stumble upon. It's something you cultivate through discipline and intention. It starts with simple, small decisions. turning off notifications, setting boundaries, creating an environment that encourages clarity instead of chaos, making your goals so clear that you can't be tempted by distractions, because your mission burns brighter than any temporary pleasure. The people who master focus are the ones who understand that success isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters, deeply and without interruption. They know how to enter the state of deep work, where hours feel like minutes, and real progress is made. They don't waste energy chasing every shiny object, or entertaining every opinion. They stay locked in, and the world around them eventually falls silent. When you silence your distractions, you begin to hear something more powerful, your own potential speaking back to you. Ideas become clearer, goals feel more achievable, confidence grows, and every time you choose focus over distraction, you are sharpening your mind into a tool that few can compete with. The ability to control your attention is the ability to control your future. One of the biggest mistakes people make on their journey to success is feeling the need to announce every move, every plan, and every minor achievement to the world. In the age of social media, this habit has only gotten worse. Everyone wants to be seen, heard, and recognized before they've even built anything worth noticing. But real success doesn't come from talking about what you're going to do. It comes from doing the work in silence and letting the results speak for themselves. There is a quiet strength in moving in silence. When you stop broadcasting your every step, you remove the unnecessary pressure of trying to impress others. You free yourself from the weight of their opinions, their expectations, and their judgments. You allow yourself to focus on the process, on the grind, and on the small, consistent efforts that actually lead to real change. Working in silence is about creating a mindset where external validation is no longer the fuel that drives you. It's about falling in love with the work itself, the late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices and the grind that no one else will see. It's about showing up day after day, even when the applause is absent and the audience is nowhere to be found. When you embrace silence, you develop patience. You stop chasing shortcuts and start building real foundations. You stop announcing your goals and start achieving them. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't understand your vision and start building a life that leaves them speechless. The truth is, the louder you talk, the more room you leave for distractions and unnecessary opinions. The quieter you become, the more space you create for action. Letting your success make the noise isn't just a clever saying, it's a strategy. It's the understanding that the world doesn't need to hear your plans, they need to see your results. Your progress, your growth, and your transformation will become impossible to ignore when you focus on the work rather than the attention. And when that success finally speaks, it speaks louder and more powerfully than any words ever could. It speaks through the life you've built, the skills you've mastered, the challenges you've overcome, and the confidence you've earned. It leaves no room for explanations, no space for doubt, and no need for validation. Success becomes your voice in life. It's easy to get caught up in the comparison game. We look at others who seem to have it all together, who are further along in their journey, and we start measuring our progress against theirs. But this is one of the quickest ways to kill your drive, your motivation, and your sense of self-worth. The truth is, your only competition should be the person you were yesterday. The moment you stop comparing yourself to others and start focusing solely on beating your previous self, you unlock an entirely new level of growth. Competing with yourself means setting personal goals that are not influenced by anyone else's timeline, accomplishments, or successes. It's about measuring your progress based on the standards you've set for your own life, not the standards others have set for you. Instead of asking, how do I stack up against this person, you ask, am I better than I was last week? Am I moving closer to the person I want to be? The beauty of this mindset is that it eliminates the stress and pressure of external expectations. You don't have to prove anything to anyone else. Your only focus is your own evolution, your own progress, and because you are constantly improving yourself, you create a cycle of success that feeds into itself. Each small victory builds on the last, and each improvement gives you more momentum to keep going. When you compete with yourself, you stop seeing others as threats or obstacles. Instead, you see them as fellow travelers on the same journey, all moving toward their own goals at their own pace. Their achievements no longer cause you to feel less than, because you know that your growth is unique to you. Your success doesn't diminish someone else's success, it enhances your own journey. This mindset shift also allows you to celebrate every win, no matter how small. Instead of waiting for a big public achievement to feel validated, you start celebrating your daily progress. The little improvements in your habits, the extra mile you pushed yourself, the new knowledge you gained, the strength you built, and the fears you conquered. When you measure your success by your own growth, every step forward is worth celebrating. And over time, as you continue to push yourself to be better than you were yesterday, something incredible happens. The old version of you begins to fade into the background, and a newer, stronger, more confident version of yourself emerges. And before you know it, you've reached a place where the people who once doubted you or didn't believe in your potential can no longer ignore your progress. They begin to see the results of your self-competition, a version of you they never expected. They begin to ask, how did they do it? And that's when you truly shock them.